Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And help me welcome Gary of Twin Tarot with Gary and
Yes,
David.
half a twin tarot. The other half is right there.
Yeah. David is not feeling well. He is under the weather. So we appreciate that he's going to do a little bit of self-care.
Yes,
So yeah, he's not going to be joining us. However, that gives us a chance to talk about him. So,
exactly.
look for the silver lining, right?
So if you ever want to know all the dirty details on David, just throw a question in the comments. I'll let you know
Yes.
from Gary's perspective.
Yes, now's your chance.
Exactly.
So, thank you for all of you who have joined us. I appreciate you being here. I was saying hello to some of you earlier before we went live. So yeah, thank you. And Leanna wanted yes, I want to see her life after life video too. Thanks for mentioning it. Yes, I did an interview with Life After Life NDE, and I was waiting for her to get in touch with me and let me know um, when she had it edited and when she was going to put it up. And so I was anticipating that at some point today. And then I got an email this morning from Sherry saying, "You stinker, you never told me that you." I said, "Oh, okay, apparently it's up." So yeah, if you have a chance to check it out, I do have it posted on my channel, and I really enjoyed um, doing the interview with her. She's absolutely lovely.
Nice.
So yes, Miss Evelyn. So yeah, there you go. So that's what's going on kind of in my little world right now. And what's happening in your world?
Oh gosh. Our empty nest will start to fill up as the kids start to come home from college.
Yeah.
Our son will be wrapping up, I think, next week, and then our daughter a week after that. So we'll start having kids running around the house again. So it's one of those bittersweet things. My wife's
Yes.
out of town this week. She'll be home Thursday, so I've got the whole house to myself. It's so
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
I really enjoy my alone time.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
love my family time too, but boy, oh boy, do I enjoy my alone time.
I know. I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it too.
yeah, Dave. So Dave's on vacation this week, and usually they go up to like Northern California in the Mendocino area, but they didn't
Yes.
plan anything this time. So he was just going to do a staycation. And my understanding was that he and Michelle went to go see a movie, and she wore a mask and he didn't. And Michelle thinks that he might have picked something up at the movie theater.
Oh, what a
So
way to spend your vacation.
oh yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's what
yeah.
that's what you want to burn your vacation days on, being sick.
Yes. Now, question for you: if you are sick on your scheduled vacation or whatever, does your company give you that time back?
Um, it depends on the boss. I mean, I have worked with my staff on something like that where, especially when they've got kids and they need that little extra flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can work with them on that. It's boss dependent, company dependent.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I remember years ago when I worked at the bank. Yeah, if you were sick on your holidays and you brought in a doctor's note that you were sick, you would get your vacation days back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. Yeah. So oh, Leanna says, "I've never had an employer give me more time if I was sick." Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's one of the things that will change in the future. Yay. Let's hope. Let's hope. So someone commented, yes, David also did a video on life after life, NDE.
Yep.
Yeah, and so did Sherry and Mel Dorr, Arthur, um, Linda G, I think Marianne from Revealing Light. So it's a good channel to check out, and yeah, so you get a lot of different perspective on there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and Oprah did one recently. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're in good company. And Sterling. Yes, Kate. Yeah, Sterling did one as well.
And so, Rose Blue, I did bake some bread today.
Perfect.
It's
Perfect.
The loaf is sitting right over on the counter. I have not cut into it yet.
Oh, I love homemade bread.
Come on over. I'll make you some.
Okay, folks, I gotta go.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, yeah. Show's over. Hope you liked it. Okay. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before we get into tossing some cards here. And yeah, I've got David's channel and Gary's channel in the description of the video. So make sure that you check it out. And yeah, go give them a like and a share, because God knows they need it. I mean, they're struggling with their numbers, right?
I know, it's tragic.
Oh yeah, only 37,000.
Not that many, 27,000.
27.
But also for all of you out there, YouTube occasionally unsubscribes you from your channels.
Yes.
So take a look. Make sure that your subscription is active for Heart Centered Tarot and for Tarot by the Bay and Twin Tarot with Gary and David. If you think you're subscribed, you might want to double check.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've said before, if I knew what metrics they used to unsubscribe people, I would certainly tell everyone, look out for this. But yeah, we don't know what they do. So yeah, that's good advice. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, just double check. Yeah. And first clue is, if you used to get notifications when we go live and all of a sudden you're not getting notifications, that's a good clue to double check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you could accidentally be subscribed to Twin Tarot and you thought I unsubscribed from that and YouTube put me back in. This is your opportunity to opt out again as quickly while I'm not looking.
There you go.
You'll have some cover.
Yes. Yeah. So as I said, thank you all of you for being here with us. And yeah, we'll get into things. And of course, first thing that we can look at is Mark Carney went down to meet with Donald Trump. And yesterday, Trump was being his usual charming self by saying, "Oh, I don't know why he's coming to meet with me. Maybe he wants to make a deal. Whatever. I don't know why he's coming here. Oh, he's going to meet with you so he can read you the riot act in person. So that when the doors are closed and when some of the folks are not paying attention, he can explain to you what Canadians tend to do when they're pushed too far." So, and and Carney told him in the meeting today that, yes, Canada is not for sale. Never will be. Just like the White House is not for sale. Buckingham Palace is not for sale. So there are some things that are just a bridge too far. And yes, Trump congratulated Carney on his victory and said it was amazing turnaround, just like his own election. It's like he he absolutely has to be the center of attention at
Mhm.
all times.
Yep.
At all times. So anyway, so yeah, I thought that we'll take a look, and maybe the question should be, um, did Carney get his message across to Trump? Did he help him see, knock it off, right? Knock it off. So
For entertainment purposes only. Okay.
absolutely.
Let's take a little four card. So, how did Carney's message land with Trump? Okay, foundation reading, Queen of Wands. We got a lot of things to do here. I actually got a reading coming out tonight about this meeting, and the Wands cards were all over the place.
Oh,
Uh, so,
nice.
so the foundation, Queen of Wands. We got a lot of things that we need to get done, and the rhetoric is probably not helping. Challenge is the Ace of Swords. You've got your truth, I've got my truth. And the truth that I'm trying to get to you is we're not for sale. We got other things to discuss. Underneath it, we got the Eight of Swords, trying to find that path forward, feeling like your hands are tied. This is kind of trying to break through Trump's bluster and find that path forward for these two countries. We've been allies with Canada for so long, and they're our number one trading partner with the United States, and Trump has thrown all of that up in the air. So now we have to try and find some path forward through all this, navigate this minefield. In the past, you had the Four of Swords. You probably should have thought about this relationship and how valuable it was to you. Current energy is the Seven of Wands. Now we're having to defend ourselves against your suggestions.
Yes.
And the reason why we're doing it, because the overarching energy is you're just concerned about your legacy and money.
Yes.
Lesson to be learned is, just because you're trying to entertain your MAGA base doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. But that's what he's doing. He's saying this stuff to get his base all fired up and show that Donald's really working for us. Outcome is the Two of Wands. Okay, so we've got some decisions. We've got to look to the future and decide how do we want to get along. So, Carney's messaging is about how we're going to move forward and how we're going to get these deals done, with our Carney's big picture. He's interested in trade. Trump is tactile. He's interested in money and tariffs.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where Trump's thinking this is going to be a quick, he's just going to come and make a deal and we'll lower the tariffs. And Carney's more about the big picture, the long term.
Exactly.
And if you see by reading, one of the outcomes I had on what's it going to look like a year from now, spoiler alert, was the Knight of Swords, which was not, the last two cards I got were not positive. So the current energy is we may have a lot of work ahead of us between the United States and Canada. It might not be sorted out in the next year.
Exactly. So I start off with the Death card. So I think,
Carney wants to kill Trump.
Yeah. Did Carney's message get through? It might have gotten through. It made Trump uncomfortable in that that's not what he wanted to hear. You need to tell me how fabulous I am and all that kind of good stuff. It's crossed with the Page of Pentacles. So, he's Trump really needs to be able to message this meeting as something positive. We came out ahead. That's not true. That's not true. He's whistling Dixie. In the past, I also got the Four of Swords. Things didn't need to be disturbed the way that Trump disturbed them.
Mhm.
but he did. Okay. All righty. The lesson to be learned is judgment. You reap what you sow. The overarching energy is the Three of Pentacles trying to work together, trying to come up with something that is going to be beneficial, and it has to be beneficial to both countries. It's not going to be just, yes, whatever the US wants, Canada is going to say, oh, yes, of course, great Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? No, it's not going to happen. Carney was prepared to walk away. If this meeting was going to start to go sideways, Carney was prepared to just walk out and say, nope, not going to play the game. The what's the word I'm looking for? That final outcome. There you go. Yeah. Final outcome is the Empress. I think that Trump blinked, and did Carney get through to him? I think in some ways he did. I think that I'm feeling that Trump is going to knock things off. Like, he's not going to be. Nobody thinks that talking about Canada as the 51st state is funny. So I think that message got across. So, yeah. Will any U.S. states try to join Canada, says David S. Could be. Could be.
Yes, pick us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We got the fourth largest economy in the world. Pick us.
Yes. Yes.
The problem you run into with that is that it's in the United States, we had the Civil War, and it was northern states and southern states.
Yes.
In this situation, every state has MAGA and every state has blue. It tends to be the more urban and suburban type areas, where there's more population tends to be blue. Where in the more rural areas, they tend to be very red.
Yes.
So in California, if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, you're down, in the Los Angeles area, whatnot, you're going to have a much bigger blue population. You get out in the San Joaquin Valley and some of these other areas that are more rural, it gets red. It gets red fast.
Yeah. And very, very similar to the way that Canada tends to be divided too. In that, in the election that we just had, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind that Alberta would go conservative. None. Because that is the way that they tend to vote, is conservative. Even when it's against their own self-interest, they vote conservative.
Yeah, that's like
it's like
those are the southern states for us.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not going to make any difference, but that's what they do. So I would love for some of the states, if they want to join Canada, absolutely, we'll talk. We'll talk. Yeah, come for the healthcare, stay for the sanity.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And hello, Sherry. Sherry has joined us. Nice to see you here, Sherry. Yes. Okay. And Magical Mermaid says, I don't think Canada has a diversity problem. We tend to be fairly accepting of other cultures and so on. And no, I don't think that we do have a diversity problem. But you know what? There could be parts of the country that feel differently. I'm totally open to that. So, yeah. Okay. And Innocent Potato said, Alberta is like Texas. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, totally. So, all right. as long as we're talking about Trump as Pope. Now, how many people out there were absolutely offended by that AI generated picture? And how many people that voted for Trump are going to sit back and say, is this a bridge too far?
Just Gary the analyst, I think that they live for that crap. And then on May 4th, they did like a Star Wars one where he's got this big, well-defined chest and a lightsaber. It's one of those things where they just eat it up. They're gonna this is the way they own the libs. They put out this picture, and then the left gets all outraged, and they're all hee hee hee. It's just a joke.
Yes.
It's I can understand why people would be offended by that. This man just passed away. This is for the Catholic Church, this is a very serious thing. And it'd be like if Trump passed away, and then who's the guy down there in El Salvador, Nabuli or whatever that.
Bukele or
Bukele, yeah, the him. Bukele showing himself with the stars and stripes. Oh, I'll be your new president, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we've got our problems here, and we're going to sort them out. We don't need you getting in the middle of this, or Putin saying, I'll become president of the United States. So it's just one of those. I think most MAGA people think that's just fantastic and owning the libs. Yeah. And I think most people that are not happy about that probably didn't vote for him in the first place anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right, because I think there's a difference between being a Catholic and being a Christian, right? That there's I think the Catholics would probably be offended.
Yep.
But yeah, they probably didn't vote for him. But
what I was reading in our comments today with our Pope Imbecile, the first video that came out, was that Christians feel like all Catholics are going to HE double hockey sticks.
Yes.
It's just like, why? I guess I need to understand how the Christian faith and religion works and how it's different from Catholicism, because I don't think that way about them. Why would they think that way about us?
Exactly. Yeah,
but
exactly.
But there's going to be some Catholics out there that support Trump because he's anti-abortion. And if you're kind of out in the far right, that cardinal that he's in New York that he keeps recommending for Pope, I'm sure he's a total Trumper.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Trump claimed that Catholics were not offended. I think Trump hasn't seen the inside of a church in a while.
No, and I think he would think twice before going in. And NB said to Marina and Gary, y'all need to trademark being the world's nicest readers. It's y'all and Autumn from Black and Orange Channel. All three should market a show. We need that hope. Thank you, NB. And I did notice your previous comment about the reading that I gave you, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
That's neat.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for thinking that we are the world's. We are.
Yeah, wait till David's back, then we get spicy again.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I always look forward to David's interpretation. And
oh man, you're that's one thing about David, man. You are going to get it raw and unfiltered. He is such a king of swords that way, or king of wands. He is swords and wands to the core.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So now the Supreme Court came down a little while ago, and they are allowing Trump to enforce the transgender military ban. When he first brought it up as through an executive order, there were several challenges to it, and it went to a lower court who said, no, you can't do that. Well, it went to the Supreme Court, and they basically said, no, he can enforce the transgender ban, and we're kind of going to sit back and watch what happens with some of these cases that are going to go through the courts. But they're saying yes, he can enforce it, but they're also saying, we're not going to make a final decision until we the other cases make it through court. I think that is the idea, to be able to say, transgender people would cause harm in the military, that the country may not be battle ready, and so on, with transgender people in there. Transgender people have always been part of the military for years and years and years. They just didn't talk about it. And I think that when you're in the trenches, you don't ask the person next to you whether they identify as male or female. You just know that they're there to protect your life, just like you're there to protect
exactly
their life, right?
As long as the gun is pointing in the same direction, what do you care?
Exactly. So what I wanted to see if we could read on is some of the cases that are going to be coming to court. And one of them is, and I can't remember her name now, but I think she is she's a pilot. And she was one of the first ones who brought up the challenge against this, obviously as a transgender person. There is no evidence out there to support the idea that being transgender in the military is harms the military as a whole. So are some of these cases that are going to go to court, are they going to be successful? Is this something that the executive order is going to have to back down on? Like, yeah. Okay. Are they going to be successful? Well, they're going to. They might prevail in the lower courts. I get the Knight of Cups, and that to me is always like kind of that lounge lizard energy. I'll tell you what you want to hear. Just go along with what I want to do. So I think that initially the lower courts might agree with them, but that there will be challenges. And then the Seven of Pentacles. Interesting, because I'm getting that there's going to be a good deal of pushback against that. That even though the lower courts might agree with them, that the Supreme Court is going to be pushing back on that, which is sad, because it means that they're willing again to do Trump's bidding. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting similar cards, and I'm kind of similarly puzzled by what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so foundation, I've got the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, this is kind of that taking care of your people. It's like the mother and child. This is a very nurturing card.
Yeah.
And then the primary clarifier is the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of the reaping what you sow.
Yeah.
So you need to take care of your people, or you're going to find that it's going to impact morale. The other clarifier is the Star. I mean, one of the things that makes this country great is the freedoms we have, and whether it's freedom of speech or freedom of religion or whatnot. But we have a lot of freedom here, and that's what makes this country great. And in this situation, you're emptying the emotional buckets, if you will.
Yes.
And then the other clarifier is the Ace of Swords. A truth that comes out from this, a new truth.
Yes.
I'm kind of wondering if this is really unlikely. And then underneath I got the Three of Cups. Okay. I'm kind of wondering if this is going to somehow boomerang back on the Supreme Court. Now talk about spinning. This is major spin here. Okay, from what I'm asking and what I'm reading, because you got the three liberal justices celebrating, because there was it was the
Yes.
It was a 6-3.
Yes, it was.
But the Star could be the Supreme Court. And it's a truth coming forth on this. Should be taking care of the Constitution, taking care of the laws. You should be more contemplative. Otherwise, you're going to reap what you sow. So this may be more of a narrative on the Supreme Court than on transgender. It could be just one of those things that's like a Jenga game,
Yes.
They pulled this peg out. It didn't cause the tower to collapse, but this may be one of those things that is a building block that may cause some reform here. Now that is a stretch.
Yes.
Did I mention this is for entertainment purposes only?
Yes. Absolutely. What do we know? We read cards,
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think that
do the rest of these.
Yes. I think that you're probably right about that. Maybe that's why the message that I got wasn't quite as clear. It could be very well be talking more about the Supreme Court, because they are in a very very precarious situation right now, where Trump has already said that he's going to sue Roberts because he didn't agree with something that Trump wanted. And I think that all of the judges appointed by the Trump administration, they have to know that people are watching and paying attention, and that they're going to be called to task. So now, do we go along with your leader? Do we do his bidding and have the people chasing us down the street with the pitchforks? Or do we try to fix what we broke? So that, you could be right. Maybe that's what it is.
Or I could be completely off base.
Yeah.
A little moth going here.
Yes.
Eat it.
Yeah. And Rose Blue says, what about Stephen Miller suing Roberts, trying to get full control of the judiciary system?
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, that they made a deal with the devil when they gave Trump immunity.
Yep.
They really did. Okay, so we know how we all feel about Trump. So, we'll put him aside for a little while. And the other thing that I read was that Russia has accused the Ukraine of drone attacks on Moscow, particularly 2 days before they're ready to have World War II celebration parades. And when I read that, I literally had to read it a couple times because I wanted it to make sense in my brain. So you attack a sovereign nation and you start a war with them, and then you want to tell them that they can't fight back when you're going to have a bunch of military people together in the same spot? It's like, what world does that make sense in? Where does Putin think that he has the right to dictate to another country how they are going to defend themselves when they didn't start the war? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Well, and the ceasefire is supposed to be May 8th through the 10th. I don't even know if Ukraine has supported that. But, you know, what I find hysterical is like, okay, so you're going to concentrate all of your troops and military equipment into a real tight formation.
Yes.
I think what Ukraine might have been sending a message like, we can reach you.
Yes.
You're not out of range of us. Are you sure you want to do that? It may simply be to disrupt this little military parade and take it away from Putin, or
Yes.
you know, to talk about a valid military target. You know, yeah,
Okay.
we could take out tens of thousands of troops with some well-placed missiles and drones, man.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you're right, Leanna. Yeah, Russia wants to pause on war because they're having a parade. Yeah, please. That's, it kind of reminds me of, remember back in the day when the military took out Anwar Sadat during a parade?
Mm.
Just saying. But
Yep.
yeah,
you know where you'll be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, given that I'm sensing that we're getting close to the end of the war with the Ukraine, and I think that Putin is looking for an exit. He's looking for a way out, and so on and so forth. So yeah, he's going to start talking more about ceasefires and wanting to negotiate, and we're going to leave Ukraine alone as long as we get to keep what we've already taken over, and blah blah blah. So the message that Ukraine is sending, that we know where you live, we can get to you, is it getting through to the people that are in charge in Moscow? Because let's face it, it's not the people are the generals that are working with Putin or for Putin are terrified to tell him the truth about how the war is going, right? Because they could be the next one that happens to fall out of a window. So is the message that Ukraine is sending with these drones, is it making Putin pay attention? Yeah. Oh, X of Swords says, yeah, their parade last year had one WW2 tank and some pimple-faced kids. Yes. Because that's basically who's left. Okay. Is Ukraine's message getting out?
Okay, so foundation, I got the King of Cups. I am completely mystified on what the King of Cups is supposed to represent anymore. It was so locked in with Biden before, and now I just have no idea. King of Cups. So we're mastering our emotions here. main clarifier, 6 of Pentacles. Giving back. Keeping the big wealth and giving back a little bit of wealth back, or things of value back. 10 of Wands, the burden. 4 of Wands, celebration, and the Magician, manifesting stuff. Oh boy, what the hell am I reading? What the hell am I looking here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think it's answering the question you were asking.
Well, then tell me what question it did answer, and I'll ask that question.
Retroactively. Let's see. Could this? So I'm just going to go through a process here. Okay, is it Putin? Mastering his emotions, giving back a little to the people. Got a big burden, celebrating a false victory, or celebrating, but it's really behind bars and trying to manifest something. It doesn't sound right. How about Zelensky? So you got the King of Cups. I'm in charge. Is it Trump? Certainly not King of Cups. I don't know. Don't know. I don't know what I'm reading here. I'll just read out the cards. I got the foundations of King of Cups, which is, it's sort of that balanced emotion, being in charge of your emotions. And then underneath it, the main clarifier, you got the 6 of Pentacles. This is about giving back to the people. Main clarifier, you got the 10 of Wands, a big burden that you're trying to get to the end. This could be the war effort. You got the 4 of Wands, celebrating. This could be your World War II celebration, but people coming together for this celebration. That's probably what we're just talking about, the celebration. And then the Magician. I think what it is Putin wants to have this, the motivation behind the parade, I think is what I'm reading here. Putin's trying to build morale and make the Russians proud of, this is like their victory day, right? And he's trying to get the morale of the rank and file Russians back up and to be proud to be Russians. And I suspect if Ukraine was to attack that, Putin might try and leverage that to take this war to a different level.
He did say recently that, he hoped that he wasn't going to have to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine. He hoped.
And maybe he's trying to make this like the Pearl Harbor attack. Oh, we were just having a parade and these neo-Nazis, Nazis from Ukraine attacked a military parade.
Minding our own business. Now, the other thing that that came to me as I'm looking at your cards is, what if Putin is incapacitated and there is someone else who is acting as the leader? That could be someone who is more open to negotiating, open to seeing that this is a burden and it's something that we cannot carry on forever and ever. So maybe let's see if we can't make something good out of a bad situation, so we can, let's talk about it, let everyone walk away with something, but at the end of the day, let's end the war.
So what do you have, Marina?
What do I have? Well, I start off with the Empress, which to me typically, that's the Empress is very much my Russia card. The Empress is all about having all you need, looking after everything that you have, but specifically it speaks to me of Russia. I then get the 2 of Pentacles. making decisions, weighing out what needs to be done versus over what is currently being done. I then get the Knight of Wands. Going forward with something that is a little different, looking at things from a different perspective, trying to
taking actions forward, really, right?
Taking action forward. And then the Four of Swords. So, something coming to an end, something where it's okay, you know what, we need a break, we need to stop this.
So Marina, what if you traded Mother Russia with that Empress with Ukraine, since it's the breadbasket of
That's true.
So if you started with Ukraine as the foundation, then where would you go with that reading?
Then okay, I would say that they are in a place now where they are weighing out their options to see what they can do. They are thinking of going forward, right? This is either we either win or we lose. Mm-hmm. But we go forward. So the Knight of Wands would go forward, and the Four of Swords could almost be like the motivation. It's we either do it or we don't. But
we've thought about it. We've contemplated on whether this, whether we should be taking action or not on this.
Yeah, but they're certainly deciding.
Yep.
I think they've got a lot of support from the other countries in Europe, so maybe that's what it is. It's okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. Boom. Do it. Yeah. And good question. Rose Blue wants to know, will Black Swan be on TV by September? And are you
talking about Swan Lake? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, by September. Okay, well, let's just do a couple parts. Yeah.
Swan Lake.
Yeah. Will Swan Lake be played on Russian TV by September? Ooh. Oh.
Might be a one-car reading. Oh my God. Okay, I start with the Tower.
Perfect.
We already know the underneath card. Queen of Wands. Well, I told you I was going to get busy as things come crumbling down. You've got people talking in the, making negotiations, talking about things. Oh my God. Death card. And the Five of Cups. Sorrow. Let's just say this. If I was Putin, I'd make sure my health insurance policies were all up
yes.
to, my life insurance policies were all paid up. And I've identified who my heirs and beneficiaries will be, and that everything has been notarized and signed away for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So I start off with, the Devil, and that is crossed with the Six of Wands. And my impression on that is, like I said earlier, ding dong, the witch is dead. This is people celebrating that, okay, we're done. We're done. The Nine of Wands. This has been difficult to endure. We've been suffering through this. We've been going through this. We've done everything that we possibly can. It's time to call it a day. Okay. And then I get the Page of Cups. There's it's almost like, oh, they're playing Swan Lake. Oh, did somebody die? It's like they're not um, there isn't that much sadness in there. Okay. And I also got the death card.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So the devil is dead. The devil is dead. People can rise up from that battle that they have been fighting for years and years and years. Interesting.
Yes.
Really interesting. Oh, okay. Bottom
So
of
I
the
guess
deck.
I'm gonna have to put a Putin health reading with the Trump health reading out on the channel.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's a worry. I think
these are not cards. If someone was asking if what my health was going to be like in the next four months, these are not cards I'd want to see.
no, no, exactly. So, to answer your question, Rose Blue, that is a very good possibility. So, yeah, and you know that they did. Yeah, that's how they announced the death of their leader is Swan Lake. Alrighty, as kind of staying on the Putin track. The EU has announced that they want to end Russian gas by 2027. In light of what we've just read,
Yeah.
is Putin's demise being talked about in circles who want to maintain the gas production past 2027, if you get what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, it's really, I guess the question is, Russian gas production. It's going to be completely dependent on who's running the government, right? So let's just see. What will it look like in 2027? Will the EU be buying Russian gas still?
Yes.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, Ace of Pentacles. It's the beginning of things of value, beginning of it could be a beginning of a new relationship. The main clarifier, the Nine of Pentacles, it's for the benefit, to benefit a lifestyle so that we can maintain a high lifestyle. So it could also be an oligarch card. Oh my God. It was all Pentacles. The clarifier, Four of Pentacles, trying to conserve and keep everything close. You got your Seven of Wands, defending. And then the King of Swords, telling it like it is. So in 2027, is Europe going to be getting Russian gas? Maybe Russia's making an offer saying, hey, you know what? We've got plenty of supplies for you. This is the one that's kind of throwing me. I'm going to skip this for right now. Seven of Wands, taking defensive actions.
Mm-hmm.
This could be, how the EU has taken defensive actions. See, the thing is, Russia's not are they withholding gas currently from? It's just could be EU doesn't want to take it, and they're defending their position because if they take it, they're just going to make the oligarchs richer, and this isn't what we want to do. So I think this is more the current energy of what they're thinking and why they want to ban it. So I don't think it's giving me an answer, or I'm not seeing an answer to that question. I'm seeing an answer as to what's motivating them.
Yeah, I think that there were some areas that Russia slowed down the gas. So now you got Pentacles, I got Wands.
Okay,
I got Wands.
Let's take some action.
Yes, I start off with the Two of Wands, thinking about it, putting it out there, deciding what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And then that's clarified by the Three of Wands. the taking decisive action and waiting for your ship to come in. Right? We've made certain decisions, and this is how we're going to go about it. I then also get the Ace of Wands. Realizing that they can take action forward by cutting Russia out of the equation. And how do they do that? Well, the Eight of Pentacles. Just keep working on what we're working on, right? Mm-hmm. Keep going forward. We have a plan of action in place, and we're going to continue with it. And financially, it's going to serve everyone. I think that based on this, I'm going to say that the EU has come up with a plan, and they're going to institute that plan. And ultimately, they're going to be in charge of their own prosperity. They're not going to depend on Russia. Maybe somebody has shared that information with some of the oligarchs who are currently, making tons and tons of money at the expense of the little guy. And now they're saying, okay, well, if we want to carry on doing what it is that we're doing, somebody needs to exit stage right.
Yeah, I'm kind of the gut feeling I got from the cards that I was throwing was if Putin goes bye-bye, it could be that the change in leadership isn't enough where the EU is like, it's we're not seeing that fundamental change to prove that we're going down a good path. It's kind of like, how Trump came back in, right? Because we weren't able to process him through the courts quickly enough, and MAGA was buying everything that was spewing out of his pie hole. It may be one of those, we're not seeing a structural change in Russia enough to make us comfortable to purchase your gas going forward. But once again, I'm just completely just gut feel. I know very little to nothing about this.
I think that you're probably bang on, because it would make sense that just because you have a new guy in charge doesn't mean that, oh, okay, we're back to normal. It means we're going to carry on with our plan. We're going to see what kind of changes you put forward. We could always go back and renegotiate a deal, but we're not just going to take your word for it, right? Yeah. Trust but verify.
Yep. Yeah. There you go, Rose, with a good point. Lifting sanctions yet for a while. Yeah. That could be exactly it.
Yeah. Totally. That interesting. I did not think that those would be the cards that I would get for Russia, but hey, they are what they are. So there we go. And last, very quickly, if we can take a look, is India has launched strikes on Pakistan, and Pakistan administers Kashmir province. Is this going to escalate? It feels like it's going to escalate quickly. And both countries have nuclear weapons.
What could possibly go wrong, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, does this escalate quickly? Or maybe this was just one of those posturing type things, and cooler heads prevail. But Yeah. What is happening in India and Pakistan? Okay. Okay. So what I'm getting here with the Seven of Cups, the yeah, somebody is doing a little bit of the saber rattling, and watch what we can do. We'll get in there, and so on. And then I get the Ten of Pentacles. So they can look at it, but they realize it's going to be costly, and it's going to be costly on both sides, and nobody is really going to come out a winner. So and then I've got those cards that are flanked by the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. So someone is trying to make a lot of noise, and I don't know that they're going to be successful. That's what I'm getting. What are you getting?
All right, so foundation, I've got the Empress. It's major arcana. This is kind of big picture. There's a lot of abundance. There's plenty of good things that are available. The main clarifier is the Page of Pentacles. This is all about kind of looking for new things of value.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have not been getting easy cards today. I've got the Death card, so trying to put an end to this cycle. You got the Six of Pentacles. Give a little, take a little. There's
Yes.
There's a lot of value. Why don't you give some back? And then underneath it, you got the Six of Cups. Can't we just be kind to each other? To me, these are these are kind of peace cards, if you will.
Yeah.
Peace cards, negotiations, trying to end this conflict and this tension that is currently that we're currently experiencing. So I think that's certainly the push that the United States is like, oh, we want cooler heads to prevail. Don't escalate this, which is so funny because that was Biden's approach to Bibi. I love Israel so much. I'm just going to hug you as tight as possible and never let you go to how much we love you.
Yes.
And basically prevent Israel from doing something really, really stupid.
Exactly.
And Trump's out there like cheering them on and egging them on. So it's so disingenuous that now here they're saying, oh, everyone calm down. So that's a Gary aside. To me, it feels like cooler heads will prevail on this one.
Yeah, I think they both. We can we can get angry and we can yell and curse, but then when you take a breath, you realize, okay, no, this. Yeah, we need to sit down and talk, and it's like, okay, everybody, calm down. You did this, you shouldn't have done that, but this is definitely a no-win situation. You start getting nuclear weapons involved, you know what? Yeah, the radiation isn't going to come by and go, oh, you're one of the good guys. Okay, we're going to let you pass, but everybody else is going to die. So I think it's a lot of saber rattling, and I will change my initial impression to that. This is more conversation, a little less action and a little more conversation. How's that? To turn the phrase literally. So all righty, well, you guys, we are just over an hour. And thank you. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for the chats, and you're all interacting with each other, and that is I find that very comforting and endearing in this community. That yeah, everyone supports everyone else, and you all get a gold star. There you go.
Yay!
Yay!
We give you all an A+.
Yeah, that's right. You did well. You did very well. So, and Gary, thank you for doing this with me. I hope
My pleasure.
that David is going to feel better.
Yes. I
And
look forward to him coming back because he would have figured out all those cards like lickety split. He is so good at
I
deciphering
know,
that stuff.
I know. Yeah, sometimes he scares me with, but don't tell him I said that. Yeah.
Someone asked at the beginning if boxers or briefs. I don't really know for sure, but I'm thinking kind of like those briefs that are kind of like cyclist pants. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
That would be my guess.
Yes. We'll have to double check.
I'll ask him later.
Yes.
Inquiring minds need to know.
That's right. Yeah. And my hand, yes, I'm wearing a brace. I did something to the inside, to the fleshy part underneath the thumb. Okay. I don't know what I did. I just know that it started hurting and it was very difficult to kind of move my fingers around. And then I woke up on Saturday and knew that I had to make a trip to the clinic because it was very, very painful. And so I got a prescription for some naproxen, which several people told me is the same as Aleve. And I thought, okay, well, then maybe I'm just going to double up on the Aleve and not worry about paying for a prescription. Use the brace, and I am going for x-rays and ultrasound on it on the 16th. So that's what's happening. What did I do? I have no idea. I could have slept wrong. I could have did whatever. Carla Joe, I will gladly accept any Reiki that you send. So there we go.
And this is my baby from today.
Oh, I want a piece so bad. just cut me off a slice, and I'll put the butter on it.
This is only one. There's only one slice. Just pick it up and start eating.
Yes. Oh yes, yeah, totally. So, all right, you guys. Again, thank you for being here, Gary. Thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll see you on the 20th.
Yay!
And yeah, hopefully by then, David will feel better. If he doesn't, I think we did an okay job by ourselves.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Get Rose Blue on there because she seems to be good about interpreting the cards that I can't interpret.
There you go. Perfect. All right, everyone. Take care. Don't forget to check out on the posts on my channel, because it'll give you my schedule for the rest of the week. And I'll see y'all later.
Take care, folks. Bye.
Yeah, take care. Bye for now.